Councilman Cirilo.
Yes, Council President. The first issue that I want to discuss is, I think that we didn't address the point that Mr. Simpson made as far as liability. Yes, we are named insured. So what happens if, if someone trips and falls? Who's liable for that?
We have a policy from the Arts Incubator which names us as a named insured under their policy. So it's no different than if you rent a home and you have insurance,
sure,
rental insurance. That's exactly what.
So who would be the first?
Well, we're both, as an attorney, not that I can advise you as an attorney, but we would both be, I assume, liable at some point, but their insurance would take preference.
Yeah, their insurance. Yeah, I think that's where the question was headed, and I'm glad that we clarify that a little bit. And I noticed that Mr. Eben was shaking his head when we said we talked about warranties. Warranty. If we're working with the housing rehabilitation program, and I would think that the reason why the resident cannot choose the contractor is because we have to follow local public contracts law, and that you have to go with the lowest bidder, I would suppose. That's the reason, but that doesn't mean that the work is guaranteed, or there should be a warranty. So that's something that we should really look into, and I would love to talk to Ms. Franklin and find out a little bit more about her experience. And in terms of the marketing, let's talk. We'll talk, and because we have to clarify this to make sure that the public is aware of all the specifics. To clarify what Mr. Simpson talked about, as far as the marketing, choosing contractors and everything, I just did a search on the website, and right now, the website it just went up, and it's a work in progress. And I would ask the administration to consider putting that link on the front page, especially now that we have increased the amount of funds available for residents, so that it's easily searchable. And also, I know that the income limits are outdated, at least from my last review, so if we can update those income limits and get that ball rolling on the marketing of the program, that would really mean a lot, and it will help us to allow the residents to participate. As it relates to the ordinance review, just like Councilman Anderton, I am interested in, and I know I value the expertise of both Jerry's on the historic end and also on the architect/engineer end. So I would love to listen to your concerns and your input before we move forward. And Councilman Anderton talked about time is of the essence. I'm willing to table the issue for the next session if we have to, because we have an opportunity to make things right, and we're talking about a lot of items, and there's a lot of volume, and we have to get it right. And to reintroduce something next session is really not, it's not a heavy burden to ask for. So we can keep talking about that. Redevelopment, Mr. Simpson talked about redevelopment. I do have concerns. I did read the article that he cited about any alterations and changes to the vision that we discussed. Now, I don't know, I do want to learn a little bit more about what's being proposed, and I would hope that the planning board considers, and I don't know what kind of legal responsibility they have, but I would hope that they consider, in addition to approving whether or not it meets, the codes and it meets local ordinance requirements, that they consider the vision that was presented to the town council as a starting point. We have to be careful that we don't deviate from that. That's really important, because and I'm sure that that's going to come up before us again in the form of the bond issuance and bond ordinance, and it's at that point that the council will have a little bit more say in this process as well. So I myself will talk to the person that we appointed, and to assure that the vision that I understand and the vision that I voted on is maintained, and as we move forward. Lastly, Mr. Mr. Puglisi, about the construction, thank you. You did take our concerns into consideration, and since the last council meeting, there has been a lot of activity in terms of informing residents for the construction going on. I look at the patch. We're getting robocalls, we're getting emails, there's big signs out there, so I'm pretty sure you had something to do with that in terms of listening to what was discussed here at the last meeting, and we really appreciate that in order to make sure that our residents know about all the construction and their day is not burdened by any additional traffic. Other than that, Council President, all the other concerns were addressed. The issue of the bus schedule, the bus service, and any ties or effects on law enforcement and security, something to look into going forward. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you.